ado, back on screen, ready to bring you another episode. I'm your host, Hernan, joined by two gentlemen by the name of Eric, but one of them by Primo, and the other one that's the topic and stat contributor of the Top Fly podcast. What's up, boys? How y'all doing? Primo, you first, mate. How are you, bruv?
I'm doing good, man. It was a good week. A lot happened, so we got a lot to talk about, and then getting ready to watch the Super Bowl game.
Oh yeah, man. The Super Bowl game is on this afternoon. I got the Philadelphia Eagles. I know a lot of people out there got the Chiefs. We'll see who wins, either Patty Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, Oklahoma Sooners quarterback, though. So I know a lot of people in Austin are going to see him as an op. We'll see what happens there. Eric, how you doing, mate? Come on in here, bruv. Introduce yourself to the people.
Doing good, guys. How you guys doing? I can't wait to get to the news, man. This week was great. I mean, this weekend was great with the European football. Man United was second for a little bit, but happy to be here.
Yeah, big Man United fan there in Old Trafford. But here in the Top Flight Podcast tradition, obviously we start off with Austin FC and the MLS here in the States. And that's where we're going to get started. But before we get in there, I got some stuff that I got to get out the way. Obviously, we got to send a shout out to our sponsor, Guadalupe Realtor. Say this every episode. You can find her information in our Instagram bio. If you have any questions, if you need help whenever you're looking for a home or you're trying to sell your home in Austin, Texas, or the surrounding areas, make sure to hit her up. She can help you out and make it a lot easier on you. Like I said, if you want to buy or sell a home in the Austin area. Also, we now have a website. You can check us out at weareaustintv.com. Shout out to Football Critic and Scott Spetch from the False Nine. They write some incredible articles for us on there. You can check it out. The most popular one I've seen so far that has gotten the most traction is the Amro Tarek. You can check out that article at weareaustintv.com and let us know what you think. Badass little website that we got going on there. Shout out to the team. Really, really proud of it. And it's just gonna get better. It's just gonna get better. So you can give us a visit there. Let's see, what else can I say on here for the intro? That's about it. Let's get into the topics, guys. The first thing that we're going to talk about is some news for Austin FC, something that most recently just happened, something fresh. We got to talk about the news for the CCL, the CONCACAF Champions League. This tweet was dropped on February 11th by Landon Cottenham at El Viajero on Twitter. He's one of the hosts of the Moon Tower Soccer podcast. He said, "It looks like Austin FC's first round of CCO may happen after all. Per source, several Violet AC players were denied visas, but 16 players have been approved. The Haitian club may try to register players from outside of Haiti in order to fill out the rest of the squad." Oh, man, looks like it's going to happen after all, basically based off of that tweet. And then I want to send a shout out to Mr. Tim Thompson, who highlighted this. He said, if this does happen, Austin FC, after a Saturday game, March 4th, at Q2 with Montreal, will have to travel to Dominican Republic and play the first leg on Tuesday, March 7th. We can probably expect some rotation. That's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen there, boys. Austin FC is going to have their hands full right off the bat. It's not going to be a walk in the park like we thought. Violet looks like they're going to have their players. Primo, I'm going to start off with you, mate. What's your thoughts on this news that has developed recently? Go ahead, mate.
I think it's good news. I think I'm glad that we're gonna have the chance to play this game. I think it's gonna be a good warm up, a good feel for us as the newcomers into this tournament. Because imagine we would have gone straight into the next round, we most likely would have played Leon, and having Leon be our first game of the tournament and seeing our history with Mexican teams, we probably would have been out that round. So I think this is a good opportunity for us to get a good feel of what the tournament is, traveling to other countries to play, and hopefully we can just get a good game out of that other team, even though they're having roster issues. And if you take 16 players, I believe it's still 5 subs, right? Or you know, that's all your subs right there. That's all your players. So
that might be all you need, mate.
I mean, maybe sometimes it is, but say you get a player injured, that's
facts.
So it all, hopefully that team can get a good roster going for us to have a good game. So I'm glad it's happening.
Oh, facts. Actually, I recently copped a cheap ticket from somebody in the Austin FC fan community, I guess you can say. And I'm excited because maybe this fan thought that the game wasn't going to happen. I think they're going to travel to Europe actually for their birthday, but I got a little cheap ticket for the home leg at the Q2. But check this out. I got this article. I found it on Slack in the channel dedicated to this game. The website is totalmixradio.com, and this article is dedicated to the match of Violette versus Austin, promoting it. And pretty much it just goes on to say, it says the players of Violette Athletic Club are training extremely hard at the Saint Therese Park in Petionville ahead of the CONCACAF Champions League, which will be played at the beginning of March towards a new international competition. Given the insecurity raging in the country, the dean of Haitian clubs, namely the Violette Athletic Club, finds itself unable to welcome the American club to the country. Indeed, the Haitian team will host the American team on foreign soil, more precisely in the Dominican Republic on March 7th, 2023, for the first leg at the stage of the round of 16. For the return match, the players of Austin FC will host the VAC in the United States of America 7 days later on March 14th, 2023. So this team is pretty much gearing up for this game. They're saying that the team is training extra hard, so the players are getting mentally ready. Pretty much sounds like they're ready to go, man. I mean, this game is coming up just next month. Austin FC, they have their preseason games and they're looking pretty good. But Eric, I want to get your take on this. You think Austin FC is going to be ready for this game, man? I mean, it looks like it's going to be a high intensity match real early on in their season. Go ahead, mate.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good challenge for them. It's going to be in the beginning of the season for them, and they're going to, find out what their true strong squad is. And I think they're going to go far. I think they're going to, secure that win, and it's going to be great for the fans. I can't wait for the match.
Question though, but there's going to be a game just 3 days before that match, an MLS game, and I guess you can say important because it's the second game of the season doesn't really count towards if you're going to make the playoffs or not in the MLS. But you'd assume that the second game at home, the players and the club and the staff are going to give it 100% like every match. But you think that we're going to have to see some rotation, just like Tim Thompson said on Twitter, or you think that we'll see rotation in the MLS match and give it everything we got in that first leg in the Dominican Republic? Go ahead, Eric.
I think they're going to go all out in the first leg. So then in the second leg
for the Champions League.
For the Champions League, yes.
So rotation in the MLS.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen like that. They're gonna rotate, and I mean, it all depends. Is during the game, Wolf is gonna make his calls, and if he needs to put a certain player in, if he just played 3 days ago, and he has to put, for example, like a strong player, to level out the game. It's all on what the manager says, and I mean, I think it's gonna be an easy win for you guys, and it's easy for you guys.
And actually, going back to something that Bali said last season, and this actually stuck with me. He said, they have Bell coming off. He's talking about LAFC. He said they have Bell. They have these star players coming off the bench. Whenever Austin FC went to the bench last season, they had Felipe coming off. They had these older players coming off the bench. These older players providing that rotation for Austin FC. But this season, we're going to see a lot of young players providing that help and that depth for Austin FC. So if we see rotation in the MLS or in the Champions League in that first leg in the Dominican Republic, I think we'll be fine. Honestly, I think Austin FC should be able to take care of this team, and I'm pretty confident. Primo, what are your thoughts on Austin FC moving forward on this game?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good challenge for us. I think it should be a good game, but I think Austin FC is going to come on top. I don't know the history of that other team. I don't know if they played Champions League before, or if this is new for them as well. But either way, they're not going to be at home. They're home. They're playing in a different country.
Yeah.
So that might have some effect on the team. I think we're a good collective team overall, and these young guys coming in, man. You see them already training in preseason, getting minutes in these preseason games. So I think we have a good fallback with them.
I think you're right, Primo. Really, really spot on that. I mean, we might have more fans than them, and we're gonna travel even farther. We might have at least 5 or 6, 7, maybe 10 fans there. Probably less, but there's gonna be some loyal Austin FC fans traveling for that first leg of the CCO if they can. Definitely count on that. Let's get into the next thing that we're gonna talk about for Austin FC, and that's the kit leak. Well, I guess you can call it a kit leak. It was very blurry, man. I mean, I thought I had to put on my glasses when I first saw it, and when I put on my glasses, it was like it was still blurry. So I was like, okay, this is just a blurry picture. But the kit leaked early Wednesday at 10:30 on Facebook and on Slack. That's where we had first seen it. One sec. That's where we had first seen it, right? And my first thoughts on this was, wow, this looks a lot like that Barcelona kit. It really looks a lot like that kit, and it made me go back to that tweet that was first dropped by the false nine, and it just made me think like, wow, this was kind of spot on. It doesn't exactly look like that Barcelona kit, but there's some similarities you can see right off the bat. My first thoughts on it were, number one, I'm gonna buy it regardless, and number two, is it a collar or not? And last but not least, the last thing that I thought when I first saw it was just stripes. I'm cool with it. So I want to get y'all's take on it. Primo, you first made. What was your thoughts whenever you first saw this kid come out? I guess on Twitter or Facebook, wherever you saw it first.
I saw it on Twitter first, and I think it looks good. I think it's something completely. Even though it has the stripe thing going on, it's completely different from our first home jersey. And I was really looking forward to see what the club was going to do as far as the stripe design. You can only do so much with stripes. But I think they got it pretty spot on. I mean, I think you kind of see some stripes going down the sleeves, which is new. I like that. Around the sleeve, it looks like there's like smaller, thinner lines, kind of like that design we saw on some promo that they did, and then on some socks that someone posted on Twitter. Also, it has like these
from like Target, right?
Yeah, it has
Yeah,
like
yeah.
thin stripe lines and then thick
Yep.
lines, and I think they got that incorporated in there. And you see like this kind of black space, like this black block around the logo, which looks pretty cool. So I like it. I like it overall. Um, I mean, I'm a cop it. I'm gonna get it right away.
I'm a cop it. I'm a cop it, mate. 100%. I'm a
hmm
cop it. Eric, coming in here, mate. Let's get your thoughts on this kit. Obviously, the picture is real blurry, and we're gonna know 100% what the kit looks like on February 15th. It is important to note that on that day, the 15th, day after Valentine's, so fellas, be smart and ask your ladies or your significant other. Be like, hey, I want this jersey for Valentine's Day, and boom, you got your gift right there. Be smart about it, everybody out there. But kit release party on the 15th this month, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the Native Hostel. So you should check your emails if you're a season ticket member. They sent out that email, I think, last week, so you could RSVP for that event. By now, it might be too late, but if you got it and you signed up, we'll see you there. We're going to have the bit of the Warehousing TV team there, so we can bring you some cool reels and some cool footage on that, so y'all can check it out in a couple days. So Eric, let's get your take on the kit, mate. What was your thoughts on it, bruv?
Yeah, when I first saw it, it reminded me of the Barcelona kit, but I don't know if you guys remember the AC Milan kit that had like the really thin.
Yes.
Yeah, it gave me that type of,
Yes.
and I liked
Huh.
that kit. So yeah, I liked it. I mean, I'm a cop.
Super interesting take on there, mate, because everybody was comparing it to that Barca kit, but this whole time it looks like the Milan kit more than anything.
Because it has
really
like a
good
black in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it has
Yeah,
the
yeah.
black in it, and yeah, I like it. I'm a cop. I mean,
For $120, maybe $150 at the Verde store, possibly $180 with the player's name in the back, possibly $250 authentic jersey, maybe $300 with the authentic and player name on the back. Are you gonna cop it, mate?
I think I'm gonna have to find it on eBay real quick. For $7.
Oh my God, you wanker! This guy's a wanker. Primo, you said you were gonna cop it, right? Thumbs
Yeah,
up.
I'm a cop it, bro. I'm a cop it for sure, and I want to put like the Champions League patch on it. That's gonna look cool.
Oh, okay.
The
I'm gonna put the Open Cup patch.
U.S. Open Cup.
The U.S. Open Cup, baby. Let's get it. But question: what player? What if you're gonna get a player on the back? What player are you gonna get?
No, that's a good question.
It's a good question, mate.
That's a good question. I usually don't go for players' names on the back, but I didn't get one last season with the player's name on the back. I might have to do it this season. And I don't know, maybe Azard's one will look cool. You know, a little
Zardes one would look cool.
number 9 on the back.
Number 9. Yeah.
Or Redes.
Or Redes. That's a
Redes.
good one. Let's see. We also got Juicy Dior. That one's gonna be a hit. I'm sure they're gonna sell a lot
Everyone's
of
gonna
jerseys.
have that one, bro.
Everybody's gonna have that one. Eric, I know you're not a 100% Austin FC fan, but if you were to get a player name on the back, who would you get?
Gotta go with Stu.
Oh, so you would get a keeper kit? No, I'm asking for the outfield players, mate.
Outfield players, probably Fagundes.
Okay.
I really like.
I like that. All right. But the general consensus here on the top flight, and also the guys from We're Austin TV, they like the kit. B likes it. Danny Benz likes it. Everybody likes it. Bali said that he's going to cop. And at first, we thought it had a collar, but Kako did come out, and he said that it does not have a collar. And if you know the Austin FC community, whenever Kako comes out and says something, you know, you kind of go with that. You know what I'm saying? So no collar, but it looks like a really, really nice kit. And on February 15th, we're going to find out officially, because even though the image was leaked, I guess you can say, was it really leaked? I mean, it's super blurry. And we're going to have to see here soon what it truly, truly looks like. I also want to ask this question. Who was the dude in the picture, bro? Because he looks like Chapo Guzman's son. I was like, hold on. Ovidio Guzman is modeling Austin FC's jersey? Hold on. What is going on here, mate? Because dude got done dirty, man. He's like blasted everywhere. Nobody knows who this guy is. All we know is he looks like someone's uncle. Really cool little beard going on there. Shout out to homie, whoever it was. Shout out to that person. Let's get into the next topic now, boys, and it's Will Bruin, because Austin FC officially announced him. They officially put out the article, put out the statement, the press release, I guess you can say, that they picked him up. They picked up free agent Will Bruin. The club, I guess you can say, is very excited to have him on board. I'm sure that's what the FO and anybody in the league will say. But I have some stuff here from the Austin FC website that I'm going to read off. And it says, Austin FC announced the club signed free agent forward Will Bruin to a 1-year guaranteed contract with an option for the 2024 season. Bruin ranks 8th among active Major League Soccer players in career goals, scored 77, and 15th in games played, 310. He has also scored 9 career goals in MLS Cup playoff matches, tied for most among active players. So he's been in the game. He's been in the field. You know what I'm saying? This guy's a veteran. This is a quote from him. He says, "I'm thrilled to join Austin FC and ready to do whatever I can to help the team toward its goal of lifting trophies. After seeing the success the team had last year and the incredible support from the fan base, I'm confident we can achieve great things together this season. I'm excited to get to work." That's what Bruin said. Now, I've got one more quote here, then I'm going to go to Mind You Primo. This is from Sean Rubio, the guy stepping in for Reina, after he did the no-no with Greg Berhalter. This is Sean Rubio. He said, "Will is a proven goal scorer and winner in MLS and brings valuable experience to the team. He also adds another dimension to our attacking options. We're excited to have him in Austin and wish him and his family a warm welcome to the club." Now, these guys just pretty much, Sean Rubio, I guess you can say, he just made Will Bruin sound probably maybe not like the next best thing, but he made him sound really, really good. He made him sound like a proven goal scorer. This guy's going to help us out a lot. He said that he's going to improve our attacking options and our attacking dimension, I guess you can say. But it's interesting because we also reached out to Rave Green TV, football critic. He's writing articles for us at We'reAustinTV.com. He reached out to Rave Green TV, who follows the Seattle Sounders very close, where we got Will Bruin from. And this is from an article on We'reAustinTV.com that you can go ahead and check out. It's called JT Out, Bruin In. Football critic interview with Rave Green TV. Pretty much this is from the article, and it goes like this. He says, he scored 13 goals in 37 games and 8 goals in 34 games during the first 2 seasons. He helped lead the Sounders to 3 Western Conference titles, the 2019 MLS Cup and the 2022 CONCACAF Champions League crown. Nevertheless, his career took a hit as he got an ACL injury in 2019. When I asked about the injury, this is Football Critic. When I asked about the injury, Rave Green TV said that Bruin, quote, had a massive drop-off in performances and didn't quite recover, as he got worse every year, with 2022 being his poorest statistically. Primo, what are your thoughts on that, mate? It seems like Austin FC's website is trying to, sell Will Bruin as a as a very positive addition to this team, and he might very well be. We're not going to be the judge on him so early on in the season. I mean, it's barely preseason, but a lot of fans from Seattle that we're talking to, Rave Green TV being one of them, they're pretty much not so sad to see this guy go. Go ahead, Primo.
Yeah, I think the club has good confidence in this guy for a reason. I mean, we replaced Musha Chite pretty much with him. I don't know if what happened with Chite. I don't know if he was having a fallout, or if this was the whole plan from the beginning, just to get a different striker and loan out Musa. But either way, whatever the situation is, I think Will Bruin. I know I kind of tore into him last episode, or a couple episodes ago. I think Will Bruin might be good for us. I think, I don't think they're overselling him. What they're saying is, a lot of goals in MLS, a lot of MLS appearances. He has experience. He's a champion with Seattle Sounders. Maybe he wants to do the same thing here in Austin, and he might have, one last dance here in Austin FC. The guy's 33 years old. He's going towards the end of his career, so he might want to do that here in Austin. It kind of sounds like he wants to play at least a couple more years. Going back to his contract. His contract's a year with an option to extend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, maybe the guy has, he wants to play a couple more years here in Austin. Maybe he might retire here after and give it one last go. So I think he has a lot to prove, and hopefully he comes out with it. Especially since he's had a fallout these last few years. Hopefully the guy's motivated.
Facts. And Rave Green TV also said, Rave Green TV, the article says, Rave Green TV highlights his best qualities as being decent in the air and providing okay hold-up play, which suits the style of play that we have seen Wolf implement late in the game, Football Critic says. On the other side, they mentioned that Bruin, quote, has gotten extremely slow, his finishing inconsistent, and seems to have lost a step in his game. So Rave Green TV definitely not holding back, bro. He's tearing Will Bruin apart. I wonder if we got him in a bad mood. I don't know. Maybe we did. But they also mentioned some good news off of Will Bruin. The article also has this. It says, along with his career in and out of Texas, Will Bruin has shown the ability to make a perfect pass, break the lines inside the box, and help his teammates to better positions. As his finishing and speed struggle to be what they once were, his positional awareness and understanding of the game could remain intact, which would allow for late game opportunities as he looks to set up a teammate. So, Eric, I want to bring you in on this, mate. The MLS final had a moment of Gareth Bale. He had a bit of magic. He came off the bench, didn't really feature the whole season. But that's what they needed Gareth Bale for. He tied the game 3-3, sent it to, PKs, LAFC won. So this last piece that I just read, saying that which would allow for late game opportunities as he looks to set up a teammate. You think that's what Will Bruin is going to be for Austin FC? He's going to be that guy that's going to be put in late in the game when we need a late goal or we need an extra body in the box. What do you think Will Bruin is going to be for Austin FC? Because like I mentioned to Primo, the Seattle fans, like Rave Green TV, they're not so sad to see him go. But the Austin FC front office is pretty happy to see this guy get here. What are they seeing that some fans are not? Go ahead, mate.
I think it's gonna be his season to come back. I mean, he didn't have a great season last year, but I think this is gonna be his comeback season, and it's gonna be with Austin. I mean, and that's good quality that we need in the last minutes. With Gareth Bale. If we have that, and he's been to finals, I mean, he's won finals, and he can bring that to the squad, and it's going to benefit the team.
Great. It is important to know that we cannot compare Will Bruin to Gareth Bale because it kind of sounds like we are. But we're just saying that role player, somebody that's going to come off the bench and somebody with experience in the playoff. I think Will Bruin is he's amongst the active MLS players with the most goals in playoff games. So that's something that Austin FC is going to need moving forward. Last season we saw in the playoffs, if they lock up Juicy, it's game over for Austin FC. I mean, LAFC embarrassed us 3-0. They didn't let Juicy produce at all. Rigoni dropped an absolute disaster class. So adding a guy like Will Bruin late in some of those high and high intensity playoff games could be, something really helpful that we need and lacked from 2022. We'll see. This guy knows the league, proven goal scorer, just like Sean Rubio said. I got one more thing on Will Bruin. It says the 2023 season will be Bruins 13th in the MLS, following 6 seasons each with the Dynamo and Seattle Sounders from 2017 to 2022. He totaled 56 goals and 21 assists during his time in Houston, to go with 30 goals and 15 assists while in Seattle. He won the 2019 MLS Cup and the 2022 CONCACAF Champions League with Sounders FC. So this dude has been around the league, mate. We're going to see what happens. Austin FC officially picked him up. And, well, sky's the limit for this guy, I guess you can say. Just like Primo said, his last dance could be here with us in Austin FC. And shout out to Football Critic for his article. You can check out his work at WeirdAustinTV.com. Let's get into the Austin FC versus Louisville match. Just a quick recap on that. There was a new view for the Verde Hill, which was absolutely fantastic. Chef's kiss. Josh Wolf even said it. He said, wow, the fans figured it out. The quote is on the graphic. I can actually bring it up real quick, but there it is. Josh Wolf said, I like it. I think they figured it out. They get to peek in from that side. I think it's good energy as always. Our fans are smart. What can I say? They know what they are doing. And what that is, the fans figured out that on the other side where the parking lot is at, where the BAE Systems building, I guess, is, that parking lot view is way better. It's like if you're playing FIFA and you're in the goal view, it's exactly what it looks like. You see the lines better for the players. If you have binoculars, you can see things much, much better. And Josh Wolf knows it. He knows that the fans are smart. But in that game, what happened? Well, 4 goals were scored. Zardis got the first one. Sebastian Driussi Dior got his second goal. Fagundes scored as well. That was 3-0. It was 3-1 after that. And then Alex Ring, cherry top, chef's kiss, finished it off 4-1 for Austin FC. Something that happened in the game, I guess you can say, is just a little thing to note. Rigoni was seen limping off, apparently. Shout out to the North End Pod Boys. Apparently, he was seen limping off, grabbing his thigh and his hammy. But I reached out to somebody, one of my sources in the Austin camp, and they told me that Rigoni is good, nothing really to worry about. He was also seen smiling on the bench right after that. And CJ Fodry still working on his own. Romagna and Asensio still look to be recovering on that. So, Primo, I want to bring you in on this, mate. Just real quick recap on this Louisville game. 4 goals, business as usual. What's your thoughts on pretty much the info that we got from this game? Go ahead, Primo.
I mean, everything's just looking positive. Everything's just looking the way we want it to. It would be bad news if we're losing to these USL teams. So I think the guys are getting out there and getting the job done. Not only as I think the most important thing that you can take away from these games is seeing how informed they can be, how well they play as a team, because these results, the wins and the goals, they're good, but at the end of the day, it's a preseason game, and so what you want to get out of it is, I guess, building a good form and building a good team to come out that first game, and those first few games can really set the tone for the rest of the season. So these guys are just looking good. Everything I expected from the team, and I have no doubt that first game will come around where they're going to be ready.
Facts, Primo. You actually bring up a really good point. You say that the first couple of games could really set the tone for the season, and spot on, because last season Austin FC won the first 2 back-to-back, scoring 5 goals, and the MLS pundits went crazy. They said, this is not Austin FC. They're not going to keep this up. They can't keep it up. And then every game we just kept keeping it up. We kept it up and kept it up and kept it up and scored goals. And Driussi kept going off. And we were showing pundits, yes, this is us. Yes, we're Austin FC. Yes, we're here to score 3 or 4 or 5 goals if it's necessary on some of these big teams that you think are these powerhouses. But guess what? We're the new guys, but it doesn't mean that we're just going to be bullied left and right. And some stats on that: 13 goals for Austin FC, 7 goals against in this preseason. Since he scored 3 on us, Philly scored 3 on us as well, and Louisville obviously got 1 on us. 1 clean sheet for Stewart. That was for against El Paso. 2 wins versus the USL sides and 2 losses versus the MLS sides. But let's get into this Louisville match. At the starting 11, we had Zardis up top. We had Fagundes, Driussi, Rigoni in the attack. Danny and Owen in the midfield. No Alex Ring, which is very interesting. No Alex Ring. there. It was Danny and Owen in that double pivot partnership. In the defense, we had Mr. Zan Kolmanek, who looks to be winning his position back, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, maybe Josh Wolf is going to give him one more chance. We might be seeing him on match day one. I'm not sure. Leo Väisänen, who looks to have won his spot at that center back position, partnership with Julio Cascante, who we all knew was going to be starting. No question. Julio is going to be our number one center back, and I'm saying it here right now. He's going to be the number one center back. I don't care if Leo Väisänen is new. Cascante is your number one center back, and a lot of Austin FC fans just need to get used to it. He knows the system, and it is what it is. Nick Lima on that right-hand side, obviously the powerhouse Nick Lima. His position is solidified. Hector Jimenez obviously is going to give him a bit of support, but we saw John Gallagher, if I'm not mistaken, in that second half, in the 30-minute period, he was given support on that right back side. So John Gallagher, just like Kako reported a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, that Gallagher was going to move to that right-hand side. And Stuver in goal, obviously Stuver, everybody loves this guy. He probably should be captain for this team. Stuver in goal. We love that guy. But Primo, reading off this lineup, bro, what are your thoughts? Is this pretty much Josh Wolf's favorite team so far? Because we've seen a lot of these names repeated. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's looking like a good mix of players. A lot of them are who were starting last season. You know, most of them are last year's starters. But of course, we got we got Leo Väisänen coming in, and I think we all had no doubt that he was going to start, so not much of a surprise there. I think I like seeing Owen in there, seeing Owen getting a few minutes. I think he's developing very well.
Uh-oh, where'd he go? Where'd Primo go? He said that Owen was developing really well, and then he just froze. You good, Primo? I think he is good. I think he is good. But Eric, let's get you in on here, mate, while Primo gets situated and comes back. Based off the names that I just read off on this slide I made up, just like I asked Primo, do you think that this is Josh Wolf's favorite team? We'll get Primo back in here in just 1 second. Go ahead, bro.
I think so. I mean, he's building the chemistry between the players and the new players as well. And, it's good for preseason. Everybody has to play preseason to get the new guys in and get them settled in with the foundation. And I like what Wolf is doing. It's going to benefit the squad very, very well.
There you go, man. I'm sorry, Primo. I cannot hold it. I wanted to laugh so hard. But Primo's back, everybody. Primo, Eric just answered for you, mate. He just covered for you, but we got Primo back on screen. Come on in here. Let us know what happened first, actually.
Hey, my fault, bro. My computer just died on me. That was my fault.
You're good, man. You're good.
I was talking, that thing just cut me off. I'm like, damn.
I saw that. I was like, Primo, don't go. But Primo, come back in here, mate. Let us know. What do you think of the starting lineup? You think this is Josh Wolf's favorite team?
Yeah. I was pretty much getting done with my thought there. I finished on Owen Wolf, saying, I don't know if Eric brushed up on it, but I was gonna say I just like how he's developing so far and getting real in touch with this team, and I like that Danny and Owen partnership going on. That's going on. So very very good for the young lad.
There you go, man. Very good for the young lad. Agreed 100%. Now, I read those preseason stats: 13 goals for and 7 goals against for Austin FC. One stat that's important to note is that 10 different goal scorers so far in preseason. We've seen Julio Cascante score a goal, Valentin Noel, David Rodriguez, Giaz Lizardi score a goal, Sebastian Drusi, Owen Wolf, Ethan Finley, Max Urruti, Fagundes, and Alex Ring. And last season, according to Football Critic, we had 13 different goal scorers in 2022 as a whole. So that's a good sign. It's a good sign that we're in a position that we're ready to come into the longest season in MLS history. 4 competitions are going to be played. And we have been saying it for a long time that we need everybody to get ready to put in that big shift, because we're going to need everybody's help. And based off of these numbers, it looks like the team is in that mindset already. They're ready to go to war, and I'm very excited to see this team perform starting on February 25th. We got a big test coming up against St. Louis. They're definitely going to want to beat us, man. They're going to want to beat us because that'll be a huge statement, and we cannot let that happen. Some important questions that I have here. I'm going to start off with you, Primo. First question for you. You ready? It goes, Valencia has been in Colombia and has been missing a big part of the preseason. How much will this affect him when the season starts? Important to note, though, that it looks like he is back. This is an old question that I had. Valencia is back. He just got here like 2-3 days ago, but He's been in Colombia for a long period of time trying to work out his green card situation. Primo, how much is that going to affect him when the season starts? The fact that he's been missing a couple games of the preseason.
I mean, it can affect a player a lot, but I think it's completely up to the player as well. If this guy was working out and training on his own during this time, then I think that would benefit him. But I doubt he was just maybe lying around or just sitting around watching TV at home. I think this guy was probably most likely out there and being active or finding some kind of exercise, some kind of training. So there's still a couple more preseason games left. Maybe there's still a chance for him to get a few minutes. Did he start, or I mean not start, but did he get a few minutes that first preseason game? I could have sworn I saw him out in Florida.
I think he did get he was in Florida. He was there. I'm sure he did get minutes against those first games. It was Philly and Cincy. I'm not recalling 100% right now, but if we go back and look at the stats, I'm sure that his name comes up in some of the tweets either in North End, who have done a tremendous job in like tracking some of these little bits and pieces of who's there, who's not. But Valencia has been part of preseason. I'm not saying that he has been absent 100%, but he's been missing a lot of the more recent, preseason games. So those seem to be the ones that are important because Josh Wolf is starting to shape his team that's going to be ready for that 25th of February matchup. The next question that I got here is Rigoni got an assist. Is he about to start going off? And I'll give that to you, Eric. Rigoni, Austin FC's DP player. He got a lot of criticism last season because he did not produce anything. Last game preseason, got an assist to Diego Fagundes. Is this a sign of him finally getting it going?
I think so. I mean, I saw him play a little bit last season. He was kind of off, but I mean,
kind of off, mate.
Kind of off.
Kind of off. Okay, if that's what you want to call it, go ahead.
Yeah, I saw his performances, but I knew that he came in kind of late, and you guys were already shining, and now he's settled in. He knows the foundation and the chemistry. He's finding his way, and he's showing his true quality. And I can't wait to see what he does in the season. I think that he might go off.
That's a good point. Good answer, mate. Good answer, mate. We'll see just what he does. A lot of fans in Austin FC are expecting 10 goals, nothing less than that, or at least 10 goal contributions. It could be 7 goals, 3 assists, or 7 assists and 3 goals. 10 goal contributions is what Austin FC fans are expecting from Emiliano Rigoni. And as a DP player, earning what you're earning in this league, I think that's fair. I think that's honestly fair because if you were to go to South America, if you were to go to Liga MX, if you were to go to Europe, the pressure is real out there, mate. You have some leagues that have relegation involved, and the stakes are the stakes are higher. Let's just say that. The MLS, man, you can lose a game Saturday night at home and go to a restaurant with your family and there'll be no problems. In other countries, that's something that probably does not happen. You lose a important game Saturday night, you stay at home that night because you don't know who's going to come up to you at the street. I mean, look at what happened to the Everton fan with Yerry Mina. Out in the street, argument, mate. In the MLS, that's not going to happen, bro, because there's no relegation involved. Maybe one day it'll happen. You have a take on that?
You guys remember I think it was a game that Madrid lost and the fans were kicking their cars and Sergio Ramos.
Oh, that always happens. That's very frequent. Yeah. That's frequent.
Yeah.
Ramos stopped and he's like, hey, why? Right? Yeah. I remember that. Really good point. And that'll never happen here, bro. If Austin were to lose an important game Saturday at home, instead of fans kicking the cars and throwing bottles at their cars or whatever, they'd be waiting for them getting their shirt signed or stuff like that. The pressure is just different here in the MLS, and that's my take on that. Another question that I have, and this is an important one. This is something that we got to talk about. It says, who is the captain of this team? We've seen 3 different players wear the armband in preseason. We've seen Julio Cascante, Dani Pereira, which was a huge surprise, and Hector Jimenez more recently. And it was kind of weird because next to Hector Jimenez was Alex Ring. So who is the captain of this team? Primo, got to start off with you, man. Go ahead.
I mean, that's a good question, bro. I don't know if they're just, trying things, doing things differently because it's preseason or, I don't know if you remember in when you're little, everyone got to be the captain during preseason. I don't know if they're doing that kind of thing right now what's going on, but
Or on your birthday?
yeah, on your birthday you'll get to be captain. Yeah, I don't know, but
Senior night too. Go ahead.
but I mean, I don't. Maybe we're looking for a new captain. Who knows? You know, Ring was there. He wasn't wearing it. I would
That's what
expect
I'm
him to.
saying. That's what I'm saying. That's where the weirdest part is at. Like, if Ring was in the same picture, why wasn't he wearing the freaking
Yeah, I mean, if you're
captain band?
captain, I would expect you to have it on. But I mean, who knows? If we are looking for a new captain, I hope they choose someone that has
Cascante.
some good
Look no
leadership
further.
skills, and I think we'll be good. But who knows? Ring might still be our captain.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Very well. Ring could, just be letting everybody wear it, try to integrate everybody more into the squad. Or maybe we're looking for our second team captain. You know what I'm saying? Because Ruben left. Ruben was also known to be that leadership role guy, and he could have been captain number two. Ring captain one. So let's say Ring is still one, and we could be looking for captain number two. Who knows? Julio definitely has shown a lot of leadership qualities. Danny Pereira, even at a very young age, we seen him take over the locker room with his positive vibes. Zardes recently in an article, he said that Danny Pereira is always one of the first ones to get the music going. So he's definitely a vibes guy. Danny Pereira, shout out to my G. And the last one, Hector. Hector is a three-time champion MLS player. We know that he has experience. And recently in the mic'd up video, we saw that he's talking to a lot of the guys, telling them what to do, trying to get Leo integrated with the team. So we have that. We'll see what happens. Let's see. The last question that I have on here is Zardes the clear choice of a striker for Wolf? Go ahead, Eric. I'm gonna get you on that.
I think so. I think he deserves that spot. I mean, he's been great as a striker. He has a good record, and I think I've seen him play in the U.S. men's national team, and I think he's going to bring class. And in my opinion, he deserves that spot.
Maxi's also there, man. I mean, Maxi, put up 9 goals last season. I'm sure that Maxi's going to be looking at Zardes low key and thinking, man, it sucks that we have to compete for the spot, but it is what it is. Whether you like it or not, competition is there, and there can only be one striker unless Josh Wolf wants to play 4-4-2 or something. But there can only be one striker in this system, I guess you can say. So it's either going to be Maxi or Zardes. Primo, what's your take on that? Is Zardes, looking like Josh Wolf's clear pick for the striker, or is Maxi still number one based off of last season?
I think there's no doubt that Zardes is the man right now. I think that's Wolf's boy. That's Wolf's guy. They have a pass together, and I mean I think that's one of the biggest reasons why he came to Austin. Because of the history he's had with Wolf. But other than that, I mean, he's good. I mean, he's doing good in preseason. He's showing out. So I think that's gonna be our number one striker right there.
It's actually funny because Zardes doesn't call Wolf Wolf. He calls him Wolfie.
Wolf.
Wolfie. Wolfie, mate. Wolfie. Okay.
Oh, they're
I don't know about that. They're buds.
They
They're
go
buds.
they go out for dinner. They do the golf thing.
Now be real. Be real. If you're Maxi, you're looking at this and you're like, damn, I gotta go 2 times harder now. Because not only is this guy putting up similar numbers than me, but he has it in with the coach. You know what I'm saying? So Maxi's got to be looking at this and thinking like, damn, I got to really go off this season. But for us, for the people covering this team and for the fans, this is good because competition is key. You want this. You want competition in your squad. So those are the questions that I had for the Austin FC. Just a little segment on there. I do want to highlight the ATX 2 players. Shout out to those boys, man. They won 6-0. Their game against Houston got canceled. So Roots FC, I think that's Sonny Guadarrama's soccer school. They subbed in for Houston Dynamo, and they got beat. They got clapped 6-0. David Rodriguez had an assist. He might have even had more. Overall, he dropped a great performance. Really looked like he wanted a spot in the first team. ATXFC 2 was mainly made up of U17 Academy kids from last season. That's what I noted. I spotted Drake Fournier, Brian Arellano, Anthony De Anda, the goalkeeper whose name I forgot. I also saw Irvin Torres, who is the double national player. He got a call up by the Mexican team and by the U.S. men's national team. So that's a talented player right there. Very young player. We also saw E.J. Johnson, Chicture, Damian Loss was the starting goalkeeper. Ocampo Chavez, who everybody's been asking themselves, where is this kid? Where is this kid? Well, he was the starting striker for the second team. We also saw Mazzaferro at center back, Walty, Valentin Noel, Biarruanga, Rodriguez, who I just mentioned, and Eric Lopez. He was on the bench as well. Somebody that we saw on the other team for Roots was Kekuta Mane, the old Austin FC player, the number one, the first season Austin FC player, Kekuta Mane. He was for, I think he's a coach at Roots, and he was in that lineup playing versus Austin. He was on the right side, doing some players dirty just a little bit. And after the game, I caught up with Mr. Anthony. We were just chatting for a bit. He told me that they're going to join the team Friday. They're going to fly out to Florida. I think the team has a game in Miami, if I'm not mistaken, right, Primo? I think something like that. So they're gonna go with them. Cool player. And he actually introduced me to Chicture because he was right next to us talking to his girl, and he was like, "Hey, you want to meet him?" I was like, "Let's go." So I was like, "Hey, Ture, what's up, man?" He was like, "Hey, what's up?" Just fist bumped him, nothing too serious, and that was that. But Primo, Austin FC 2 winning 6-0, mate. Obviously, a really good start for this program. What are your thoughts on that, bro?
Yeah, really, really good start. What was it, 6-0? That's kind of that's kind of crazy that Kekuta was out there playing with them, but
Yeah.
but I mean, it's the team is looking good. I mean, that's what you want to see from these kinds of teams, and I think there's a lot of talent there. So there's just expect some of those guys to move up to that first team here in a couple of years or however long their contracts are. But it's just a team of really good young players, and we'll have to see what their next preseason games bring, and then the start of their season, because I know their season starts, I think, a little bit later, right? It starts like in March or
Something like
something
that.
like that. But yeah, I think it's a good team. It's a good thing that they got going on there.
I think so, man. I'm really excited for this team. Obviously, some players on there that we're familiar with, De Anda, Irvin Torres, like mentioned, some of the guys that we've been following, like Chicture, uh, uh, Biarruanga, all those guys. I think this is going to be really good for not only the club but for the city. It's going to it's going to keep a lot of kids motivated because mm, it not like whenever we were younger, there wasn't really an option for you to go pro at least close by. I mean, when I was 12, 13, I had heard that the tryouts were in Mexico. You paid like $1,200 to go try out for like Pachuca, Monterrey, Guadalajara, and try bringing that up to your dad. Be like, hey, dad, can you pay $1,200 for me to go try out for Monterrey, Pachuca? Most likely, you're gonna get hit with a nah. You know what I'm saying? So I really like this for the city more than anything because it's gonna keep the youth motivated, hopefully, and it's gonna push them harder than ever. I mean, sky is the limit. Opportunities are out there. Resources are out there, and it's really up to you. And I hope a lot of local talent makes it onto these ranks sooner or later, either in the academies for Austin FC and then make it onto the ATX FC2 and then into the first team. I mean, I would love to see that story unfold sooner or later. Eric, you have any thoughts?
I think I mean, it's great. I love to see the 6-0 win. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw a video of a 15-year-old young little lad from England who played in the FA Cup, and he scored a goal, but it was called offsides. And he's 15 playing, with the big guys, and seeing the score with these Austin FC2 young lads, they can come up to the big leagues.
Oh yeah. Oh
Big
yeah, mate. Oh
things.
yeah, definitely. There's a lot of talent in Austin FC's ranks in their young ranks. I mean, we're gonna see some names make it big in the next 5 to 10 years. 100%. Do not sleep on that. Let's see. I think that's actually all that we have for the Austin FC segment. It was a long one, but we had a lot of news to cover. I mean, we talked also Roots here, Austin FC versus the new Roots here at the end. So I'm just gonna plug in the website. Make sure to check us out at WeirdAustinTV.com, please. Um, Gotta send a shout out to the birthday boys. And starting off with Kevin Moreno. My G, Kevin, I'm sorry I couldn't make it to your party, mate. I heard you got sloppy, though, and it was early and you were already drunk. Take care of yourself, my G, Kevin Moreno. I'll see you at Q2 Stadium soon. Next, shout out to Sebastian Drusi. Happy birthday, Rigoni as well, and CJ Fodder, and everybody else that birthday is in February, I guess you can say. So let's move on to the European segment, boys. And it's unfortunate, but we got to start off with a very serious note. And I want to send my thoughts and prayers to everybody that's been affected in the tragedies that's been going on in Turkey and in Syria. Some terrible, absolutely disturbing scenes. Some videos have been coming out on Instagram is where I've been seeing a lot of it. Pulling people out of the rubble, mate. Like pulling humans out of just cement rubble, from these buildings that are collapsing on them. And it's just hard seeing that because right now you're probably, getting ready to go with your family to a Super Bowl party, and there's humans on the same planet that you are across the world that are having to pull out their children maybe from this rubble. And luckily right now we're sitting in this position where we're recording this podcast and everything is good here, but there's people out there that are really, really struggling. So if you're ever having some type of bad day, just remember that stuff like that is going on in the world, and my thoughts and prayers go out to those people. Eric, I know you wanted to mention this on the pod, so I'll let you say some words, mate. Go ahead.
Yeah, my thoughts and prayers to them. I know they're going through some tough times. You have some also footballers that went through the rubble, and we pray for the best for them. We pray for the countries to get back together and to like let's keep moving forward, and hopefully there's no more tragedies. So our prayers
Well,
to them.
unfortunately, mate, stuff like this, we see it hit the news. So let's just hope that we can be more prepared, and hopefully we have the resources to help countries out whenever stuff like this happens. That's really what we can do moving forward. But shout out, well, not shout out, I'm sorry. Just prayers for everybody in Turkey and Syria and everybody that has family affected by this. Everybody knows somebody and has family somewhere. So if you know somebody, just give them your thoughts and prayers and see how we can help, mate. Let's get into the European segment, talk some football. I'm sorry that we started off on a note like that, but we just got to talk about it, mate. We got to, especially whenever we have a player like Tarek who is from those parts of the world, and he could have family that is hurt by this. So thoughts and prayers go out to that. We're gonna start off with Real Madrid in the Club World Cup final. My club, Eric's club, Primo's club, or Eric's club. I don't know because he's a Man United, Real Madrid fan. I don't know. He's at Old Trafford. He's not at the Bernabeu, so I don't know if he can celebrate this 100%. Well, Primo's at Q2 Stadium too, so I don't know. I don't know. But okay, let's get into the Real Madrid game. Champions of the Club World Cup, champions of the world, best team in history. We know this, yada yada yada. But the performance was far from that, mate. They scored 5 goals, but it could have been 5-4 with 10 minutes to go, mate. I mean, it's not peaches and cream with Real Madrid. You thought that in this tournament, they were going to clean up their act. They were going to get it together. They were going to make fans believe again. Maybe they could make a push for La Liga. But they struggled in this final, mate. Or maybe they just took it too lightly. I'll start off with you, Eric. How did you see the game? Who is your hero, Vinicius Jr.? Pretty much just give me your thoughts on everything that went down. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I saw the game, and these guys were taking it like a preseason game. They were, tiki-taka here and there, and then when the opposing team would, go for them, they kind of freaked out in the beginning. But I mean, it's not a good sign for Real Madrid fans seeing this performance, because it's kind of like you guys aren't giving it all for the badge. It's a small team, but you got to respect the small teams, no matter what competition it may be. And, you got to go all out every single game, because La Liga, Champions, they're not easy tasks. And, this is a big thing for us. Another trophy. We're going to have the little crest in the center of the jersey,
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And, yeah, I mean, but the game was great. And I'm happy that we won the trophy. And another one to the books.
Now, we have here on the notes, Fede wins a bet he had with Carlo Ancelotti, the coach. Bet was made by Carlo. He said if Fede didn't score 10 goals all season, he would retire as a coach. Fede now has 11 after his brace and hugged Carlo in his 10th goal celebration. That's cheeky. That is a risk. Carlo Ancelotti taking a big risk there, but Fede Valverde, who had a very sad celebration too. I don't know if y'all know, but he recently lost the baby was lost before it was born, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Baby's okay. I think they got bad news of the baby, but I think the baby's okay.
Oh, okay.
Everything's good now, and that's why he was so emotional and so happy. But yeah, I think that's what I saw.
I saw him get the thumb, take it to his mouth, and he pointed up. You know what I'm saying? So I thought maybe that the baby had, something bad had happened. But hopefully everything is okay in the Fede Valverde camp. And Carlo Ancelotti doesn't have to get rid of his coaching license. Fede Valverde with 11 goals. Great stat putting it on there, Eric. Also, we have Madrid have now have 8 Club World Cup titles, 3 Intercontinental Cups. That's what it was called before the new name, and 5 Club World Cups. 2005 or 2006, it went from went from International Cup to just FIFA Club World Cup. Interesting stat there. And we have a question. It says, could this win and trophy motivate Madrid to fight for the league and put pressure on Barca? Primo, I'm gonna let you get that, mate. Could this be something that Real Madrid could use to go on a run and fight for the league? I mean, this is what, 8-point difference? Just give the trophy to Barca already, mate.
Man, I just hope that they just gotta keep on winning, man. If they want that league, they just gotta keep on winning. And I know we've been losing and tying games lately, but I mean it's still possible. Technically, it's still possible. And with this win on a final, as you know, we can get some kind of motivation out of it. It wasn't a great game. That's the only thing that's keeping me from saying that we're completely ready to compete for the league. You know, there's still some mistakes in the back line, and I don't know if they're just playing Lunin because it was a different competition. I don't think Courtois hurt. But you know, Lunin wasn't really having good performances during this tournament. So, either way, I think the team can do it, but it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot.
It's gonna take a lot, mate. It's gonna take a lot. I see Eric over there nodding too, bro. Just real quick, same question for you. Do you think that this is gonna be enough for Real Madrid to get inspired and go on a run, or you think that they're gonna cut it close, but be overtaken at the end of the day? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we're gonna cut the gap short, but I mean Barca is just so in form right now that it's gonna be hard. And right now we're playing Camavinga as a left back, and his performance wasn't that great because he drifted too much into his midfield position.
Yeah, well, guess what? He's not a left back. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I get it, but I mean we have no left back. Ferland Mendy's hurt, and Ancelotti just trusts him. And I mean, if we're going like that, I don't think we can secure La Liga, but I think we can go far in La Champions. You know, we just got to beat Liverpool first, and then let's see what happens next.
Easy. I mean, Brighton's beating Liverpool 3 times in a row, so I think we can easily do that. Liverpool's in the mud. Jurgen Klopp's gonna get sacked here, sooner or later. We might be the ones to get him sacked. If we do that, that'll be the greatest honor. Oh my God, I hope we can get that honor. But real quick, the lineup for the Club World Cup win was Lunin in goal, like Primo had said. Lunin in goal, Dani Carvajal, who's still playing for Real Madrid, mate. I mean, he must have somebody's personal information because he is still out there in the starting lineup. But also, we don't have anybody to cover him, so he just has to keep pushing. Rudiger and Alaba in the center back position. We had Camavinga at the left back, just like it was noted. Luka Modric, Tchouaméni, and Toni Kroos. Fede Valverde, Karim Benzema, and Vinicius Jr. finishing off that starting 11. Big ups to those boys. Shout out to Real Madrid, like we said, champions. Obviously, we're going to get that patch and we're going to buy the kit. Let's get into the EPL just a little bit. We don't have B here. He is sick. He caught a little bit of a bug from his nephew. That's what he had informed the squad. But we're going to talk a little bit about Chelsea because apparently Chelsea was robbed this weekend. Who did they play? They played West Ham.
They played West
Ham, and it was 1-1. But they were calling for a penalty late in the game because there was a shot just outside the box by Gallagher, if I'm not mistaken. It looked like Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, I think it was Conor Gallagher. Yeah.
Looked like Gallagher. He took a shot, kind of a weak shot. Really was not going to threaten anybody. It was not going to be threatening anybody. The keeper was going to collect that very easily. But on its way to the goal, a defender dropped down and with his hand of support hit the ball, right? And it made the ball lose speed and yada yada, boom, boom, boom. But the ref said that it was not a penalty. Now, Brian says that they were robbed. My personal opinion, my personal take, it was the right call. Eric, I want to get your take on this. Was it a penalty or not? I think it was the right call, mate.
It was a penalty. Okay, first of all, why is he falling? Nobody was around him. They weren't attacking him,
It's a defensive slide tackle to try to block the ball, mate.
he shouldn't have thrown his ball to the ground, and they're gonna call it, oh, his first support, so he doesn't on the side. That's gonna be the excuse. I think personally they were robbed. Chelsea should have got those points. I mean, they need it with their record right now. They're going through tough times, and it was just robbery. The players came up to the ref complaining, and they were rightfully so. And Potter was throwing cheeky little jokes in the post interview, but to me, Chelsea were robbed of 3 points. So I'm with B.
Brian is gonna hear this and he's gonna be cheering. He's gonna be like, hell yeah, we were robbed. But I mean, honestly, the rules are pretty much simple. They're black and white. And if the ball hits the player's hand of support, they're not gonna call it, if I'm not mistaken. And that's exactly what happened. But it did look like the ball had hit the player's hand before it was a hand of support, but the refs just didn't call it. But I mean, it Chelsea's not the only team that was affected by bad ref calls. We're gonna talk about Arsenal here in a bit. But more on the Chelsea side, I have a little bit more notes here. It says Chelsea's new signing Enzo got his first Chelsea assist, and Joao Felix got his first Chelsea goal. VAR did not call PK on an obvious Thomas Sukek handball. That's what we were talking about right now. Chelsea have only one win in their last 7 PL games and 2 wins in their last 14 PL games. Videos going around that a Chelsea fan was talking a lot towards the West Ham supporters, and one of them sucker punched the Chelsea fan clean in the jaw and knocked him out. I saw the video, mate. Dude was knocked out on the floor, bro. And then I saw a video of him after he was being escorted out like in a wheelchair, and he was just bloody from the mouth, bloody from the nose, bro. He looked like he was having a bad day. Poor lad. Let's get into the Arsenal, mate. We got to talk about Arsenal because they also a team that got robbed, I guess you can say. Now they really got robbed because the ref came out later and said that he made a mistake. And I saw a cheeky quote from Arsene Wenger from 2016 that said, "It's always the same with you." And that quote was that it was towards the ref that was in charge of VAR for the most recent Arsenal game that we saw. But the notes here say Arsenal dropped 2 points to Brentford with a 1-1 draw. Trossard scored in the 66th minute, but Ivan Toney equalized in a controversial goal to level it 1-1, and controversial it was. Now, Eric, I'm going to get you in on this, mate, because you were watching this game with me. Was it offsides or was it not, bruv?
There was 2 calls on the initial cross, and then when it got crossed back with the header. On the initial one, he wasn't interfering with play. But on the second one, where Norgard tapped the ball right over Ramsdale's head, he was off. He was offsides, and that's who he got the assist for Ivan Toney. And as a United fan, I'm gonna be fair, and Arsenal were robbed, and they deserved the 3 points. They played a fantastic game like they always do, and those are crucial points that they need at this moment. With City crawling up, and they just beat Aston Villa, and Arsenal fans are going to be livid because of what just happened. But that's football, and I think VAR just is not doing its job right now. The people behind VAR are just not doing it right.
We'll see, mate. I have this quote here that says, Sky Sports News tweeted this. It says, the PGMOL had admitted that it was a human error, which led to VAR not fully investigating an offsides call for Brentford's equalizer against Arsenal. Meaning Lee Mason in the VAR room forgot to draw the lines on the VAR check on the Brentford goal. Christian Nordgaard was offsides when he passed the ball to Ivan Toney, but VAR didn't investigate it correctly. That's gutting for the Arsenal fans who 2 points dropped. I mean, for this title race, it can mean a lot, mate. It can mean a lot, especially with Man United and City drawing so close. Let's see. We're going to talk a little bit about Man United here. It says Man United beat rivals Leeds in a 2-0 game that Leeds had control over, but an 80th minute header by Rashford and 85th minute goal by Garnacho secured the 3 points. David De Gea played his 400th game with United and also had his 200th clean sheet the other day after today. Congrats to De Gea. Rashford has 13 goals in 15 games since the World Cup. This Thursday, United play Barcelona at the Camp Nou. And Fabrizio Romano states that United want Garnacho to stay and proposed a contract extension. Negotiations are going, and contract looks to be till 2028. Primo, I want to get you in first before the kid over there wearing the Man United jersey on his shoulder. What are your thoughts on Man United and their turnaround this season, mate? Because based off of what I just read off of here, I mean, United seems to be back, mate.
Yeah, I think they're doing a pretty good job on, on the whole turnaround. Eric Ten Hag doing his thing, and a lot of players stepping up, especially Marcus Rashford. I think he's having an amazing season so far. And then you have young stars like Garnacho. Dude, that guy is fast, boy. I saw that goal. He smoked that guy. He's just fast, and that's what he's known for on that side. He's fast. You see him do it game in, game out. A wonderful player. And then you know they picked up a couple of signings during the January transfer. They got a striker. Forget his name, but you know he's exciting to see. And then they picked up that guy from Bayern on loan, who I think debuted today. So from what I heard, he had a good game also, and I think it's looking real positive for Man U. Champions League, I think for sure.
Depending who you talk to, mate. So does anybody else have anything they want to say on Man United? Anybody? Nope.
I do.
Okay, we can go to the next topic. Nah, I'm just kidding, bro.
He
Go ahead. Go ahead, Eric.
think-
What? I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding. Go ahead, mate. Give us your take on Man United, everything that's going on. Obviously, it's a big turnaround, and I do have to mention that you were one of the few United fans that stayed loyal to Eric Ten Hag when the whole Ronaldo thing was going on. Instead of you saying that Ten Hag was wrong and Chris should stay, you backed Eric Ten Hag. You said that this was the way that Man United needs to go, whether the fans liked it or not. And right now we're seeing Eric Ten Hag cook. Just let him cook. And this is what he's cooking up. So give us your take on everything going on with Man United, bro.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that my team, last year we recorded the worst possible end of the season in the last 30 years. I'm happy that Eric Ten Hag is, bringing us back. I'm not the United fan that says, oh, we're in a title race. No, we're not. We have a lot of issues behind the closed doors, but
Touchdown Eagles. Touchdown Eagles. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm happy. And one thing that I want to say to you and Primo is Garnacho is going to stay. You guys were...
Hey, he looking good, bro. I don't know. Madrid.
Madrid's going to come calling, mate. And not that many people can say no. Just think about that.
He was in Madrid, but, he came to United and you saw Eric Ten Hag. He told him, hey, you need to start, to start scoring more, get more assists. And you saw that cheeky celebration where he points at Ten Hag and points at the pitch. And, Ten Hag points at him back, smiling. And that's what we want. We want positivity in the team. I was not happy with Maguire in the center back position. I don't know. I don't know if a lot of United fans are going to be with me, but I did not like Maguire. I want Martinez and Varane always playing, but, they can't.
Licha for sure.
For sure. And, I'm just happy with the run we have, and I'm scared for Barcelona. I'm genuinely scared for Barcelona.
How are you gonna finish off that discourse with "I'm scared of Barcelona"? How are you gonna finish off with that, mate?
They don't have Casemiro. Casemiro owns the Camp Nou. He owns the Camp Nou, but we don't have.
It's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. I'm feeling you on that. Let's see. Just real quick, some super fast news on Serie A. AC Milan finally secured a victory after not seeing a win in over 7 in all competitions. Last time they won was January 4th. Wow. It's a really long time. Juventus beat Fiorentina today 1-0 with a 34-minute goal by Rabiot, placing Juve 9th in the league and only 10 points away from any chance of a European competition. The question here is, just real quick, Eric, I'm going to get yours. Do you believe Juventus can make it to any European competition after the sanction they received, mate?
Conference League.
Okay. Primo, any hope for them?
Yeah, man, I'm agree with
You think they're gonna come back? Jeez.
I think so.
They got hit with 15, mate. They should have just said, you know what, we're gonna pack it up this season. We're not gonna finish it off, and we're just gonna take a chill pill for this season because, oh my God, sanction after sanction for Juve.
Well,
what are they doing?
Never mind. You're right. Their striker was offering himself to.
Yeah,
Vlahovic. He's like, man, I'm trying to get out of here, man.
I'm trying to get out of here, bro.
But who knows? If they really, really try, then they can get Conference League, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough, bro.
I think I'm gonna go with Eric on that one as well. I think if they really try, if they really push for it, they could land maybe a Conference League. Best case scenario, Europa. Best case scenario, Europa.
Or they're in Europe right now. Best case, they win the Europa League and qualify for the Champions League next season.
Facts. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yes.
It could happen.
That. But with teams like Barcelona and Man United in Europa, I think that maybe their chances are a bit better for that. Am I wrong?
And the mighty Arsenal won it too. The mighty Arsenal can win the Europa League too.
Yes, the mighty Arsenal. Do not sleep on them. Let's see. Some of the things that we have to add on to here before we finish up the pod. Our predictions for Tuesday's Champions League matches to finish off. Let's see. We got PSG versus Bayern, AC Milan versus Spurs, Club Brugge versus Benfica, and Dortmund versus Chelsea. I'm going to start off with my G Primo. We'll start off with Dortmund versus Chelsea. Who's going to win that game?
Dortmund.
Ooh.
Dortmund.
Oh, that's gonna be hurt. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt. Eric, who do you got winning that game?
Reina with.
Who do you got? Dortmund?
Dortmund. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, Dortmund.
Hey, get your pick. Get your pick, mate.
Dortmund.
All right, there we go. I'm gonna go with Chelsea. I think Chelsea gets their act together. We're gonna see the real Mudryk, and this is the match that they're gonna use to build on. Chelsea wins this game, and off of that, after this game, off of this, they're gonna go on a win streak. 3 games win streak. Heard it here first. The next game is a Bruges Benfica. This is a little bit of lower teams, but Benfica, teams that produces great players. Club Brugge is also no real slouch. You know what I'm saying? So that one's a little bit even. I got Benfica edging Club Brugge out. What do y'all got?
I'm gonna go with Benfica. Just I think a better team overall.
Eric?
Take a draw.
Okay. All right. We'll see then. We'll see. Maybe a draw. Yeah, teams could draw, I guess. The next 2 matches. First one, AC Milan versus Spurs. I got Spurs on that, mate. Spurs. I got them. On that. I know they lost to Leicester, but watch them use this game to come back off of the spin. Who you got?
Got Milan, baby.
Eric?
I got the mighty AC Milan.
Oh,
I got
the Spurs, mate. I gotta go with the Spurs. I'm sorry, mate. Gotta go with this Tottenham Hotspur. The last match, and this is the big one. I saved it for last. Is PSG versus Bayern. But Mbappe could miss out on the Bayern match, and PSG aren't in form at the moment, losing 3-1 to rivals AS Monaco. So, boys, PSG or Bayern Munich to close out the pod?
Bayern, no doubt. Bayern.
Cancelo to score the winner after snitching on his old club City. Go ahead, Eric. Who you got, mate? Bayern or PSG?
From what I've heard, Messi could make it.
Yes, Messi's dealing with a hamstring injury, right?
I'm not sure what injury he was dealing with, but yeah, he wasn't playing, and Mbappe was out as well. But they saw him training a little bit. I mean, they might put him in, like, hey, you might be hurt, but we need you. But, Bayern just beat Bochum 3-0. Bayern's taking it comfortably. And that rivalry's good, that Champions League final.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. This was one time a Champions League final. Once upon a time, I guess you can say. So we'll see if PSG get it back in blood, or if Bayern Munich, do business as usual and show their superiority, I guess, in silverware and in mentality over these teams like PSG, who we've seen crumble, bro. I mean, PSG just can't really seem to get it together. But we'll see. Maybe they can use this game against Bayern as a step forward for that. But looks like. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, did you see? I mean, they're 1-1 right now. But I don't remember. I think it was last year's Champions League when PSG beat Bayern, and you saw Neymar celebrating in front of Kimmich. Yeah. And Bayern are out for some blood. They're 1-1. Oh, who's gonna take it? And I think it's Bayern.
Yeah, Bayern does not forget. I'll tell you that much. All right. Well, we got to the end of the Top Flight podcast. Shout out to Primo and Eric for being here. Bali and B could not be here in this episode. Bali had something to do, emergency, and then B got sick. So hopefully they feel better. But shout out to the boys for being here. Also, thank you to all the listeners out there. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a review. Leave a comment also if you'd like. Let us know if you have a take on something or if you disagree with a take that we had, maybe. And also, what I really want to know is I want to know what everybody thinks on the new kit, or as much as you can say, because it was very blurry image. But what are your thoughts on that? And last but not least, I want to say I want to tell everybody to visit us at WeAreAustinTV.com. Check out the articles that we're posting on there. Shout out to Football Critic and Scott for writing those great articles for us. We got one on Tarek. We have one on Bruin and Musa Jite and a bunch of other ones. I think it's like 6 on there now, and many, many more. We're about to add another writer to the team. So it'll be 3 writers bringing out some Austin FC content weekly. So be ready for that. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the podcast. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll see you here next time.